Well, I would say good morning or good afternoon or good night, but I have no idea when you might be watching this program. I'm Homer Owens with East Kentucky Broadcasting, and the reason we're here is to talk with a city commissioner, an old friend, I might say, Jimmy Carter. Jimmy, how are you?
Homer, great. How are you doing? It's good to
Fine.
be here.
We've missed talking to you in about a month, but we want to know about our town, what's going on, and I have a list before me that's rather comprehensive, and we hope you've got the answers to these questions.
Hopefully I will. And before we jump into that, I just want to take a quick moment to commend Al Greenfield, who is our station manager here at Pike TV, and what an outstanding job he's done. I think everybody can say Channel 99 is a huge success. You talk to people throughout town, throughout the county, from Phelps to Coal Run. I mean, it's such a great avenue to get the message out and for people to see what's going on in their local government and just what's going on around the county.
Well said, Jimmy, and I have to echo that, and it gives me a sense of pride just to work with this group and especially with Al.
Yeah, he's it's a top notch. What he's done here is just phenomenal, and we're just tickled to death that we're continuing to progress the way we are.
I only have one complaint for Al. He doesn't use me often enough.
Oh.
No, I'm only kidding, of course. Jimmy Carter, let's talk about Pikeville. I'm looking here, outdoor siren project. We talked about that last winter, I believe.
Last winter, and actually, we've been working on this a while, even before the devastating tornadoes that took place in Sayersville and
the West Liberty
Liberty, Morgan County area. We're just about ready, you could say, to flip the switch, and it's a good thing because I think when we first started talking about, people were saying, we never have any tornadoes, or it's not really only for tornadoes, but it's for other areas of emergencies as well. But I think
background us a little on that, Jimmy. What does that involve? A siren that will warn us that the weather is impending?
Weather, anything that might be happening. There's more than one. There's several throughout the city. So anywhere you're at in the city, you'll be able to hear it, and they're all synchronized through our 911 center.
There's an educational process that will take place about how many blasts on the siren means what?
Exactly, yeah. Before everything is switched on, I'm sure we'll have some programming here, on the radio, some newspaper and everything to let everybody know what's going on and what to expect.
Looks like you're going to be doing some work on our streets and highways within the city limits, milling and paving taking place a couple of locations, maybe three here.
Right. Just want to let everybody know in the next couple to 3 weeks, Hambly Boulevard from Baird Avenue down to Lorraine Street where the highway department is, up to McDonald's, we're going to be repaving all the boulevard, and we're going to try to do it mostly at night, but we want to get the word out early to let people know to expect some delays downtown. But like I said, we're going to try to do most of it at night so there won't be any disruption in traffic. As you know, downtown area anymore during the day is it's just crazy sometimes with traffic.
Wonderfully crazy.
Wonderfully crazy, with considering what's going on throughout the country, and even though we're hurting still here in Eastern Kentucky, we continue to move forward. And also we're going to have Huffman Avenue will also be done at the same time from the bypass.
That's from Hambly Boulevard over to Summit Engineering entrance?
Right, to the bypass, yeah. So get some fresh pavement down. There's been so much construction work there, especially around the Hampton and U-Pike. We're waiting for U-Pike to maybe finish their concrete out to the blacktop so we can all join in there real nice.
Not only is it paving, Jimmy, but there's the milling process, which is a little more complicated than just laying down a 4-inch depth of asphalt.
Right. They'll come through and take down, I think, a couple of inches down so it doesn't keep building up, of course, and we get it right to the curbs to where it's a nice finish.
So the milling will also take place once you strip the surface off.
Right. We'll mill that down. Hopefully, do that at night as well to keep the traffic down as much as possible.
Interesting. Crumb rubber for the soccer field. What's that all about?
The type of grass we have, and I'm not real sure about the pronunciation or whatever the term of it is, but the grass that we're using for that soccer field is just a high quality turf designed especially for or specifically rather for soccer fields. So what they suggest after it really gets seeded in and rooted in real well, that you go back and it's similar to the turf we have at Hambly Boulevard, the artificial turf. It's got the rubber pellets, the ground up rubber that's in the turf itself to make it a little bit softer. But what happens with the live grass, as you will, it puts it down there to help hold moisture in, and it makes it a little bit more durable, and the cleats don't get in there and tear it up as well.
When you mentioned soccer field, is it also usable on the football surfaces?
You could, depending on what kind of grass you have on it. It could be used for that as well.
But this is only used for soccer field coverage. What you're going to do in the next few days?
Right. It's just going to be at the Hambly, not at Hambly rather, but Bob Amos new soccer field.
Fish and Wildlife Foundation, you're going to ask them for some money. What's the purpose of that grant application?
We're really looking forward to this one. It ties in with so much stuff that we're doing right now on the outside. Is a grant to help continue to clean the riverbanks where we're floating kayakers and canoes and people are tubing down the river. This is just some additional money to help keep that clean. As the water goes down, we can get to some stuff that needs to be moved around and gotten out. And there also is going to be which this is very unique, it's all tied in together, is Pikeville High School will be, if we're awarded this grant, and they feel very confident that we will be, they'll have a garden that will be planted down behind the high school. There's some area down there on the riverbank that, some flat areas back there. And what this was, I think it's the environmental and biological class at Pikeville High School will be in charge of planting this garden with native species plants and in a kind of if you will, an outdoor lab with what it will be.
What will happen to the produce that comes off the yield of the garden?
I'm not so sure it's going to be vegetable varieties. It's going to be native plants, that type of thing, to where people can study those and they can go out and study them.
You use an expression here on my cheat notes that says the city river system. I didn't realize we had a river system.
Well, the Big Sandy, the Leviza Fork right there, is our river system. But it's been designated as a blue water trail by the state, Fish and Wildlife, which is a huge undertaking. There's only, I think, 5 in the state, 2 in eastern Kentucky, and the Russell Fork is the other one in this area. It's going to be designated as this, and there are going to be more fishing opportunities, and hopefully the state will come in and help stock some fish in the river. They have a program for that, and we're working towards that. Sean Cochran, who's doing our outdoor stuff with the river and the pond, and is just doing a fantastic job. Just amazing what we've done so far.
We had some of our employees at the East Kentucky Broadcasting that did a flotation from the south end of the river all the way down to Texas Roadhouse, I think was the takeout point.
Right.
So that seems to be a very exciting thing.
Very, very popular. A good example of that this weekend, Friday through Sunday. I was just talking to Sean yesterday or today, and they had, I think, 40-some people that had the tours that went down the river just this weekend.
You can float down in a variety of contraptions,
right?
Can you not?
I mean, we've got the opportunity. You can go to the cut through and get kayaks. You can rent them, canoes, tubes. So there's various ways you can go down there, or bring your own and do your own. I mean, that's.
I'm told it's a very picturesque 2 hours.
It
for
really
that flotation.
is. It really is. It's breathtaking.
There's a new dock on the city pond. Paddle boats moved to another location.
We moved from the end on Lorraine Street. We moved everything back to where the main dock was, back at the other end of the pond.
We talked about that, I think, a couple of programs ago.
Right. It's finally complete. We've got the dock in place. It's a little bit bigger than what we had at the other end, with the paddle boats tied up and a sidewalk going, nicely poured sidewalk over to the dock. So people putting in boats. My son-in-law and I've got a little John boat that we put in down there and fish sometimes, and it's a little bit tricky getting in and out. But now that we've got the now that we've got it there to where we can pull the boat in there to the dock, rather we
How
can.
is the fishing on the pond?
It's believe it or not, it's extraordinary. I mean, I've heard so many stories. I've only been a couple of times this year, but I have talked to a lot of people. They're pulling out some huge bass, and of course the bass is catch and release. But I've been told by some really big time fishermen that
Don't
we
give
probably
anything away here now.
no, but we probably need to thin them out a little bit. So I don't know what's going to happen. But that's not our decision. That's the state's because they're in charge of that. But
But
there's
the
some.
sizable bass are there in the city pond. This may draw
really
some
big.
fishermen who want to try that sport.
Right.
Pikeville is going to be the site of a convention this week, I'm told. Statewide office holders, clerks, is it? State clerks?
County
convention?
county court clerks. Yeah, it's
Wonderful.
very exciting. First time. Well, actually, my wife she retired from the county clerk's office, and she went to a lot of these back in the years, and she said she can only remember one other time that it was outside of the Lexington, Louisville area, and that's when it was at Opryland Hotel one year. But talking with those people, she said it's amazing on especially people from Western Kentucky that's never been to Pikeville, that they were just amazed at what we had here to offer in Pikeville. And, 100, I think it was 180 some that have been here this week, and they've done everything from the paddle boat races. They had paddle boat races. They've gone to the breaks. They've had live entertainment at the expo. I think Exile, a local, back in the day, 70s band from Kentucky, entertained them one night. It's been great for our economy. I mean, you think about that many people. It doesn't sound like a whole lot, but for a convention type thing, that's a lot. That's a lot of people in town for specific.
And it's what we have been striving for, making us a convention and destination point for their vacation.
Right, and the more we can get these, like I said, we've got so much to offer, and we get these corporations and some more state conventions and that type of thing in here. I think they're going to find that we've got as much to do or much to offer as anybody around. I don't think there was much time for sitting back and relaxing, as they say. They were out. I think they toured a coal mine. Just a lot of stuff that people really don't get a chance to do.
This is not on our list. I want to throw you a curve here, but I think you'll field it very well. The Hatfield-McCoy miniseries appeared on the History Channel. Has that made any difference in the city that you're able to determine?
Oh yeah, and that's something I meant to say that I'd like to talk about, because we got some updates Monday at our last commission meeting.
Good. Can you share them with us?
Sure. I mean, it's phenomenal. I mean, I won't say they caught us off guard, but kind of. I mean, my understanding is that it was the second largest viewed miniseries in the history of TV, and right offhand I can't remember what the first one.
Something about High School Musical 2 or something.
So, something crazy like that. But it's to think about how many people have watched that, and now they're coming to Eastern Kentucky and Southern West Virginia to see this. We're doing our best to upgrade some areas. The Deal Cemetery, we're putting some more directional signage. We're working to get more directional signage for people to coming in. There was hundreds of people through town last weekend, my understanding. And Reed Potter, who is with the county tourism, was taking his time last weekend to take tours. It takes about 2 hours to go through the whole tour process. But I had several people come to the meeting Monday and was talking about how marvelous it is to have all these people in asking questions and wanting to know,
We had Tony Tackett on the Daybreak program last week, Wednesday maybe. He said normally he had about 5,000 hits a month. In 1 week period following that miniseries, he had over 300,000 hits.
Wow. I hadn't heard that number.
Tourism.
That's huge. That is huge,
really. Everett Johnson, of course, made a contribution on a program, and Everett kind of went to the inaccuracies, the literary license that was taken with that particular program. Didn't take away from the program, but it was interesting to talk about what he knew.
Well, Martha Reidner, a local citizen here in Pikeville, I think it was her grandfather who was Perry Klein. And she came in, was talking about the cemetery where he is buried, and we're trying to help make sure there's some good signage to get there and all that. And she had mentioned to us about
Probably
she knew
not
exactly
too-
what was going on.
Probably not too happy about the characterization of her grandfather.
No, not at all. But you know, that happens, and you know, like she said, we need to take an opportunity to tell our side of the story. So you know, maybe that's what we need to do, and let people know when they're here, you know, what the other side is.
Hopefully, the 2-hour documentary that came at the end of last week helped clear up some of those misconceptions about us. I have not seen that documentary, but I'm told it was done very well.
I haven't either, but you know, as a lot of people say, any type of press or is good press, bad press
There's no good, no bad pub.
That's right. You get the publicity and get the interest stirred, people are going to come around. I think whether it's negative or positive.
Friday Night Live on the Plaza. How did that go?
Well, actually, it's just coming up. It's
Oh.
this Friday, and the 14th, I guess it would be, or is that
Okay,
15th?
I jumped the gun there.
Oh, that's fine. Minta Cheney, Main Street Director, has really worked hard to get this thing up and running for the second year, and they're going to have a 50s, 60s, 70s type
This is
of...
the Jaguars are appearing, yeah.
The Jaguars are appearing on Billy Johnson stage out in the plaza. Free footlong hot dogs, and it's going to be a wonderful time. It started out last year, and there's been some great crowds. I just got a feeling it's going to be huge this Friday night.
Minta has done a wonderful job with her department. I guess you want to throw a pat on the back also to Jesse Bowling.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And last weekend, the second Saturday of each month, May through October, of course, everybody knows is Muscle on Main, and 200 plus vehicles were there for the car show, and it just keeps every month and every year it just keeps growing and growing and growing. It's phenomenal.
Is there anything you can share with us about what the commission is doing that you can share with the public? Give us a feeling of anticipation as we're growing, and we are every day.
You know, there's still so many things that we're working on that are coming close to completion. You know, the shopping area down on Thompson's Road. I know we keep talking about it, and people say, "When's it going to happen? When's it going to happen?"
Are you still hung up with the Postal Service?
I think we're pretty much past that, and we're moving forward. But something of this magnitude just doesn't happen. I mean, it takes a lot of work, and Donovan and Rusty Davis, our attorney, city attorney, have really worked hard to get this thing to happen. And it's going to happen, but it's going to take a little time to get it worked out.
I had lunch yesterday at a local eatery just off the boundaries of that area you're developing, the city's developing. That is a larger area than I ever imagined.
It really is, and if you haven't been to the Texas Roadhouse or to the boat ramp on the river right behind it, drive out and around and look and see. I mean, it's really a large piece of property, and when you take the post office in with it, and of course the fire station is going to be relocated as well, so all that property all the way back to the river, from the post office to the fire station all the way back, will be a development.
When coming in off Thompson Road into that property, I noticed a sign there. It says Pikeville Commons. Is that going to be the official name of the development?
I have not heard exactly, but I've got a feeling that's probably what it might be. I really don't know.
Will that not be a decision that the commission will make?
Well, actually, we'll be selling the property, so it would be whoever the property owners, whatever they decide to name it.
I understand you're moving forward with the Pikeville Pike County Airport project, which has kind of slowed down in the last month or two.
It has. We did get some grant money that's going to help us to move forward. I understand there has been some construction up there at the terminal, so hopefully that's in coordination with the project of moving forward. I think there's some other money that's out there that's available, some additional grant money and hopefully we get some multi-county coal severance dollars to help push this thing forward and to go with commercial air service. I think that's our logical next step to get more people in here for tourism and people out of here. As everyone's well aware, it takes 2 hours, the best you can do to get to an airport to hit any flight. So what we're hoping, hopefully within the next year, we'll have something going on to where, we can go to the Pike County Airport, pick up a flight, go to Charlotte, wherever, and hit a connecting flight and go anywhere in the world.
A couple of months ago, Congressman Hal Rogers was in town, presented a check for $750,000, I believe, $750,000 for sewer project. Where does that stand?
The wastewater treatment plant, I think we're pretty much going into the design stage right now. We're moving forward with that rapidly as we need to, as we've talked about on the show before. We've got a increasing demand on our sewer plant with all the growth that we've had in the city.
And this is past growth, not even anticipated growth.
Exactly, this is just past growth, and then some. We have a big part of the county, and not a big part, but a pretty good sized part of the county that's on our sewer system as well. So, we've got to do something to be able to move forward. And I'd hate for the state to come here and say, "Oh, you can't do any more building, you can't do anything." So that's why we had to move forward and get this new treatment plant up and going.
I guess it would be appropriate, Jimmy, to talk about the Expo Center. How does the Commission feel about its progress, or lack of?
Moving forward very nicely. Steve St. John does an excellent job there, and he came in and a couple of meetings ago with the Commission and updated us on everything, and it's just phenomenal, especially with the economy the way it's going right now. It's been very very positive. We're right on track to do where we thought we'd be. So we can't ask for any more than that. And they've done, I think, an excellent job of getting diversified kind of programs and shows in there that will attract and appeal to a lot of different people.
I hope you will feel comfortable to comment on the coal industry briefly. It appears to be worsening the situation every day in the news, layoffs, and that, of course, affects available money to be spent for discretionary things.
Right, and they had the EPA hearings here last week at the Expo Center, and a lot of people turning out for that and expressing their concerns with the way the direction of the government's going to stifle, the coal that we do have in the ground here to get it out. So we need to let everybody know and call their congressmen. I know they're all aware of it, or their senators, and write the letters and do whatever you need to do, a grassroots campaign, if you will, to get out there and let everybody know that we need the coal, we need to get it out of the ground, and we need to move it out so our economy can move forward.
Alpha Natural Resources just announced yesterday they will mine 11.5 million less tons this year than they did last year. At one point, Alpha Natural Resources relocating to Pikeville. Did that happen, or did you buy me?
I think they're still looking at 2 or 3 different locations. I heard a location, and again, I haven't seen anything in the press or anything like that, but possibly an area down at Coal Run they're looking at. And that's just secondhand, and I don't know anything for fact. So I know that we were talking to them for a couple locations that we offered to them in the city limits to work with them, and I'm not sure that. Is that
still an ongoing process?
I'm not sure 100%. I haven't heard anything, so I'm assuming that they're still in the decision making. Or if they haven't really announced anything yet if they made a decision.
City of Pikeville for the past few months has been in a process of building. It's an ongoing thing, and we're still watching things go up, finished. Can you give us a report on maybe the 3 major projects within the city limits?
Well, what I'm being told, they're all on track to finish. U Pike's Medical School building, my understanding is the end of June. They'll be turning the keys over. The contractors will be to the university, and that will be up and going. As far as I know, what I've been told as well is that the hospital's on track for their opening day, and so is the
Judicial
Center rather. So I think everybody else has noticed that the new hotel, the Hilton Garden Suites, is starting to come out of the ground. Foundation work is being done right now. So
yet another major project.
Another major project, and we're just very blessed that we continue to move forward here in Pikeville.
Very few traffic disruptions with all the major work that's going on. Traffic seems to have been flowing easily with no mishaps.
You know, it's really kind of amazing that we haven't had, with all the utility work that's been going on for these large projects, that we're not having a large backup in traffic and a lot of street closures. Or when we do have them, they're a couple hours at the most. So then there's always UMG does a super job of making sure that the traffic is directed in the right way to keep from backing up any.
A couple of weeks ago, the University of Pikeville named a new president who will take office July 1st next year. We're all familiar with James Hurley, first alumnus from what was then the college,
Right.
to become president. Are you guys, the commission, looking forward to working with Mr. Hurley?
Oh, absolutely, and we've already have a great relationship with him. He's very involved and has been since he's been Governor Patton's assistant at the college or at the university. Got to watch that one.
Gotcha.
I owe somebody $5. He's going to be an outstanding leader, as he's not already, moving the university into areas that we thought was probably impossible that they'd be able to do, and what they have done already, but just keeping them going.
And the added value to that situation is that former Governor Patton, former President Patton, will go to the chancellor's position. He will be available for consultation on issues important to the area,
which will be huge for the university and for the county and the Eastern Kentucky. With the new scholarship program that was introduced here the last couple of weeks, using multi-county coal severance dollars. What a great opportunity for this region, for these young kids to get an education and finish their education. It's going to be a great thing.
It was a compromise worked out in Frankfort that not everyone was pleased with, but it did represent progress of some sort.
Right, and I won't say that we are due or owed anything, but I think it's a good opportunity for a lot of kids that might not have an opportunity to finish their education to either finish it here or to a smaller branch of the university there in their.
The city's going to be very involved with the educational process in the sense of the Scholar House. Where does that stand, that project?
We hope to I think at the end of July. I think that's when they're looking at. I think everything has been approved up to this point, as far as we know. While we were given an update on Monday, so we're looking in July that that project will start. We're going to be selling the property to them to get that started, which will be a great opportunity for some single parents to go in there and be able to receive their education and live in an area that they can have daycare right on site. It's just phenomenal the way this thing works. Briefly,
Jimmy, any trouble reported from the Pikeville Police in the area of crime in general?
Nothing any major than what we normally have here and there. Again, with our growth and everything that's going on around us, and so many people in this area, in the downtown area, in the surrounding area, we don't have a huge crime problem, and we knock on wood with that. Just your everyday petty stuff, that I guess you could call it. But our police department does a great job in patrolling our neighborhoods and our streets, and I think that's one of the reasons we don't have a huge problem.
Jimmy, it's always a pleasure talking to you. You're very knowledgeable. Your depth of knowledge is impressive about our city. I feel like we're in good hands, you and the other commissioners. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and something we all enjoy doing, or we probably wouldn't be doing it, but it's a pleasure to be here.
Thanks for listening. That's another City Commissioners Report on Pike TV.